I'm going to try to change your perspective on the comfort zone by my own experiences. I, as a person, have been in a lot of uncomfortable situations because of the comfort zone. And I have seen time and time, case after case, that the comfort zone is a very dangerous place to be. One time I was invited to the opera. I was thinking to myself, should I go or should I stay? Because my idea of the opera was a lot of people screaming and doing random things. But I decided to went. It was out of my comfort zone because I have never done that. I was skeptical if I would like it, or simply to just forgive it. By the way, you need to go out to the opera at least once in your lifetime, because after the show, I realized it was a very life-changing experience. It changed my mind on the opera. I loved it. It was a very interesting thing, and I really like to tell this story. I have a problem speaking to large crowds, and I know a lot of people have this same problem. But it is what it is. You have to do it and be bold about it. Now think, what company is your cell phone? I ask you this because if you think what brand it is, you will think about the creators. And the creators at some point of their lives thought, is this going to be a successful product or is it going to be a flop? And fortunately, they did it and they succeeded. Probably they are tech giants at this point in time. At one point of my life, I was thinking to myself, I am growing as a person or I'm just in a plateau. But as the time passed by, I realized, well, I'm not even in a plateau. I'm regressing as a person. Not in the sense that I am hurting people or saying mean things to them. I was regressing as a person as I was failing school. I was having worse and worse relationships with my parents, and a lot of things that were bad for me. There were two paths on this one. Or I grow as a person, or continue down the rabbit hole. Fortunately, I chose the first one. In 6th grade, I was invited to an event in another state. It was a religious retreat. At the time, I was a very agnostic person and didn't want to go, but I decided to go anyways. And it was a very life-changing experience because I saw and experienced from my own self how the people, when you help them, you create happiness in their lives. We went and touched a lot of rural zones and a lot of rural persons. We gave them clothes, water, and even a little bit of happiness. And you should have seen their faces when we did this. They were happy and they were chanting and they were all around a very good day for them. Now to a part where not everyone likes to talk about is the phase of the work. There's two phases about this. There's phase one where you research and research and research. Then you could to apply this on your own life. Another thing is to ask my elders to give me tips. They gave me a lot of tips. The two that stuck the most with me were the one effect that is called the deadline effect. It basically changes your perspective on things. It tricks your brain into thinking, oh, I'm in a school setting or I'm at work. And it changes the way you perceive that duty you have to do. For example, you have to do an essay due to 12 of February, and you need to do that by that date. And that effect basically tricks your brain into thinking, oh, I need to do this right now. As the time passes and you practice more and more this effect, it will be easier to do this. The second tip is to break your scheme. Breaking your scheme is basically not doing the same every day. Like, for example, you go at 9 to work, get home by 5, and watch 2 hours of Netflix. Breaking your scheme might be just changing a little bit of your schedule, like waking up at 8 a.m. and reading half an hour, and then when you go to your house at 5 p.m., instead of watching 2 hours Netflix, you watch 1. And the other, you decide to do an exercise. And those little things eventually create a snowball effect. And you get that gratification eventually. And that thing basically gets out of your comfort zone because you're not accustomed to do that. You're not accustomed to doing 1 hour of exercise, half an hour of reading. And those types of things eventually blossom and give you a better life. And a time when you need to relax, you can touch that. But a thing is, you have to work hard, and very hard. To the end of your life, you will be a work in progress because nobody's perfect. And if you chase the perfection, you will never get it, unfortunately, because nobody's perfect. But if you change your mindset to, I need to get up at this hour, do this thing, and do that thing, your mindset will change completely. One thing is that I'm a work in progress. I am, and still will be to the end of my life. Because you can be perfect, and you can't chase things you can achieve. There's things you will never achieve, and that's life. But it's better to be trying and trying and trying and then succeed than it's not to do anything. And one of the things I have realized is that you need to be moving in your life. You need to be creating things, growing as a person. And even though these trying times, you can do a lot of other things, get creative and do things you have never done before, like meditate, watch a series you have never done. And I urge you, please, get out of your comfort zone. When you get out of your comfort zone, you will see the world completely different. And ladies and gentlemen, that was my take on the comfort zone.